Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. Yes, we are getting into sometimes they call it March Madness. Well, you know what? It's good because once again we have a lot of cruise lines that are actually debuting new ships this year, which I've spoken about before, and some new ones just came out, which I'll be talking about too. One is actually Riverside Luxury Cruises. What they did was they just christened their new ship at this annual. It's this American Society of Trail Advisors. They do an annual conference every year, but they for the past 3 years, they've actually been doing one over in Europe too. So they christened the Riverside Luxury Cruises new ship there. I'll share more about that later, but that's good too. So it's good to kind of build up the excitement because there's so many things going on. I know a lot of times people right now are maybe going on spring break and taking some time off to really enjoy things. And of course, I think one great opportunity, of course, is to think about taking a cruise because once again, the ships go to great places and see different things. Plus, we get different cruise lines that really customize different things depending on who's going with you. And if you're going with your family, extended family, sometimes you might want to think about, like Royal Caribbean, for instance, because they've got different neighborhoods. They really embrace families with children too. Another one that's really fantastic too is Disney Cruise Line. They have their adults only areas too, plus ones for children too. But it's really great too, and just something to think about next year too, because once again, we're already into the holiday season for before we get into summertime too. And of course, in summertime, of course, we have Alaskan cruises, which is great. But something that just came up too is Sun Princess was just launched by Princess Cruises early this year. Got delayed, but it came out actually supposed to be coming out early in February. It came out, but I've written about it, which is great. But they've got some new things plus other things that are familiar to their guests too. And they've got the Sun Princess. They have it accommodates I think 4,282 guests on board, which is it's just it's their biggest ship, and it has more features too for multi-generational um, cruisers too. It's yeah, more than half of their new to brand too. But anyway, with the Sun Princess, it's their biggest ship. Of course, still not huge. I mean, 4,000 guests is not bad. But Princess Cruises did introduce more features for multi-generational families. They've got this top deck family zone. It's still being completed right now. And they got a wide variety of accommodations for and connecting staterooms too, which is great too. And they've really been very ambitious when it comes to entertainment. And like I said, the Sun Princess was delayed, but it did debut, of course, too. And once again, it just seems very, very exciting, as far as Sun Princess too. And they've got their Horizons. It's a new triple deck Horizons dining room. It's got a really Americana option as far as one level. It has an all day breakfast menu. That's a hit. I mean, sometimes people like to have breakfast different times of the day. Sometimes people like to have lunch, maybe for breakfast, whatever. But once again, with this new triple deck Horizons dining room, it gives you an option one deck, one level that has an all day breakfast menu. Okay, and it's a big hit too. They've got the Eataly, which replaces the self-serve buffet, and it also has Circle by the Alfresco promenade with further food options too. And there's also different options, of course, as far as dining. They've got the Butcher's Block by Dario, which is a very different kind of congenial experience. It's not just in a steakhouse. And then they've got something really fun too. They've got this soft open of, it's called their exclusive Spell by Magic Carpet. Sure about that too. Also in their piazza, it's a 3-story level space. It's different on Sun Princess and their ships because they have light coming in from the sphere and a big glass expanse midships on each side of the ship, which is great. And once again, like the scene that rings in the piazza, it's got a much more of an entertainment space now too, which is great. So once again, It really looks phenomenal. And with the piazza, it's considered a hive for music and activity. They have early morning Zumba to game shows, dance classes, and live music, bands, vocalists throughout the day and evening, and then late night club piazza with a DJ. And then on their embarkation in Barcelona, which is where the ship was sailing from first, it had a pulse of music, which is great too. And so that's something kind of interesting too, I thought. Also, as far as the upgraded dining, I know that Rudy Sideman, who is the Princess Cruises head of culinary arts, he's fantastic. I've met him several times. His food is amazing. I always tell people it's too pretty to eat, but it's fantastic. He's great. But I know they've modernized their main dining room menus, and they've got really enhanced specialty dining menus too. And they've also got, of course, they introduced some novel dining concepts like the Butcher's Block by Dario, which is great. And something else, they've got Sabatini's, which is another one. As far as the eatery, it's a full service food hall that replaces Princess Cruises World Fresh Marketplace buffet. And during lunch, they've got different kinds of dishes. They've got, for instance, a seafood ragu, carb prime rib, yes, dim sum, also authentic focaccia, and pastries. And it's located, eatery is located in the central area of deck number 9, which is just a few steps away from the piazza. And it has 2 different sections, which is great. And then it converts at night to especially venues like the Catch by Rudy, which is Rudy Sideman's restaurant, and Butcher's Block on the other side. And then they've also got around the eatery, they've got the alfresco dining seating area, which is in the promenade. And like I said, just really great as far as different dining experiences too. Another one that's coming up soon, it's called Love by Brito. And it's going to be opening actually on April 17th. Love by Brito is going to be serving a fancy 7-course prefix menu by Rudy Sideman. There's a surcharge, of course, $149 per person surcharge. But once again, Rudy's fantastic cuisine is amazing too. So something else to think about too. And then I know they've got the Princess Arena, which is a flexible new theater, which has 3 configurations. And around they've got also a 270-degree keyhole. They got a traditional area too. And as far as new productions on the ship, they reimagined their favorite called Fiera, which is and they're also building a set for Valara, a pirate quest, sorry. And it should be rolling out pretty soon too. I know that the arena has a capacity up to 980 guests too. So right now they're adding new productions and shows, of course, too. But ones they have on board, like I said, they've got the dome, and it's on the high end of the ship, and it's got aerialist circuit performances too that transform at night after dark. It's not happening yet. It's going to be happening soon. They've got their terrace glass enclosed space above the bridge, and it's very busy during rainy days, of course. People can relax, read, and sip drinks on cushioned lounges that become upright seats too during the circus shows, as seating for 250 plus guests, including standing room too. And the sunny days, of course, the dome is very warm. And also they've got some family spaces too. Once again, soon the Sun Princess is going to have Park 19. It's a new top deck family area with a ropes course and the first roll glider at sea. They're not available yet, but they're going to be launching it pretty soon. And right now, of course, they do have ping pong and cornhole inside this net enclosed recreational court, of course. And something else, they've got some exclusive places too. For instance, I know that they've got this quiet by reservations pool area in the sanctuary. It's on deck 18 in the aft part, and guests that have suite areas, suite passengers can get their own signature sun deck space too. I've seen that before. The sanctuary is gorgeous. I've seen that on one of their other ships too, which is great. And then below decks 15 and 16 is the Signature Lounge, which has glass walls, a bar for drinks and snacks during the day. And of course, suite guests have access to the Signature Restaurant, which is an enclosed space down on deck 6 at the base of the piazza. And then they've got Reserve Collection for mini suite guests, has their reserve collection restaurant that's a bit further aft too. And as far as accommodations, Sun Princess has more categories of accommodations than the other Love Boat ships they've got too. There are 100 connecting rooms, which are ideal for families. And they've also got the cabana rooms, staterooms on both sides of the ship, which are open to, which have a private cabana deck with hot tubs. And on deck 6, they've got their cove balcony staterooms, which are really closer to the water. And that sounds kind of fun too. I like being close to water too. It really likes me too. And then what's really fun too, I think, to mention too, is altogether more than 70%, yes, 70% of the rooms have balconies. And of course, all those come with a sofa. The bathroom shower curtains are replaced with glass cabinets, and the space has been optimized by doing away with the walk-in closets. Okay, and also some features too is with the deluxe balcony staterooms, they're 200 square feet plus a 35-foot square balcony, ample storage, shelf storage. They've got motion-activated floor lights beside the bed, and in the bathroom, they've got large flat screen televisions and of course many electrical outlets and of course USB ports, which we need more than ever, right? And the color palette is, for most accommodations, is light, for instance, beige, cream, gray. And other higher categories have some richer, deeper tones. It might be brown or taupe with pops of blue, gold, or rust too. And once again, it's just really kind of fun to see Sun Princess coming out. She's delayed a little bit, but once again, looks like a great ship. So definitely one to keep in mind later on if you're considering taking a cruise. And of course, that's Princess Cruises' newest ship. Right now, she's actually sailing in Europe. I think she's going to be coming to the U.S. later on, maybe in the fall, I think, after she does a across the Atlantic Ocean cruise too, which a friend of mine is going to be taking too. Something else that just came up too was with Celebrity Cruises. They have several ships, gorgeous ships, and what they did was they just did a modernization of their Celebrity Infinity, and they just refurbished it. And what they did was they did a refreshed look to their retreat lounge, which originally was called Michael's Club. Long story about that too, but they just refreshed it to the retreat lounge, and they've also got the expansion of the Luminaire at the retreat. It's more for suite guests, and they've got the addition of the new Sunset Suites at the aft back part of the ship, have expansive views with large private balconies too. And the retreat has more personalized service, and they ensure guest needs are always met, whether it be on board or offering shore excursions too, from securing reservations at restaurants to arranging exclusive journeys. The team really committed to enhancing the guest experience. And the retreat lounge now, since she's gone under a refresh modernization, has a new color palette and offers different amenities, including complimentary beverages, gourmet bites, live entertainment, and more. And they've got the new Sunset Suites. They come with an extra large private balcony. Guests in these staterooms can enjoy exclusive amenities of the retreat, which include butler service, dining at the expanded Luminaire in the retreat area, also access to the retreat lounge throughout their stay. And as far as her itineraries, I know that with the Celebrity Infinity, she's just starting her European season, and a couple of some itineraries just give you some ideas where she's sailing. She's got a 7-night Greek Isles in Turkey, which sails along the eastern Mediterranean coasts. These highlights include Santorini and ancient sites of Kusadasi before sailing to Rhodes. And then they've also got cruises that sail to the southmost corners of Europe, including a 12-night Canaries, Morocco, and Spain sailing too. So once again, cruise lines do update their ships And once again, this is with the Celebrity Infinity, which was just modernized recently for her European season too. So keep that in mind too, because once again, they do that. They really do. And it's fun to kind of see what they're doing too. It's just fun to explore different things too. Something else that I want to share about too was another cruise startup. Okay, this is kind of interesting too. It's a new cruise startup. It's called Positive Polar. I ran across this and I thought, I like that name. I mean, what do you think about when you think about polar? Well, you think about the polar plunge, but in this case, they're actually expected to launch operations with bookings starting to open up this summer. And they got co-founders. And what they're doing is they have an expedition vessel which they acquired, and it has a capacity up to 200 passengers. And the company has been working on this for a while. It's a new startup, and what they're doing too with this one is they've got a biological carbon pump. They've got polar voyages, which do different things too. And once again, they just are really, really focused on environment too. And it's a cruise line, but it's got a new concept. You know, they really make sure that their guests are going to be going to great places too. And what they're doing too is the hypothesis of the positive polar is working towards if whales existed in numbers, what they did before they're hunted, this could have a really positive impact on the climate too. And it's just a different concept, and I like the name too. And once again, they are going to be sharing more at a conference I'm going to be going to in a couple of weeks. Seatrade, they're going to be there, so I'm really excited to hear more about this positive polar. And I got a press conference coming up, like I said, at Seatrade Cruise Global coming up in a couple of weeks. And once again, they are really, really mentioned, the founders have mentioned, you know, they're kind of curious why the cruise industry hasn't brought a concept like this before. But once again, a lot of times we have cruise lines that are focused on maybe, optimizing spaces, bigger cabins, bigger facilities, whatever. But once again, and with the people that are starting this, they really want to do serious science on ships too, which is great. And it's not a desk in the corner with a microscope and a laptop. You know, they really want to allocate space for this too. And one of the co-founders, Hinton, has mentioned, I'm an ex-Navy officer. I like to have fun, but it has to be a ship that combines both too. So I'll be sharing about that more later on when I actually have a chance to do a press conference coming up in a couple of weeks, which is great. Something else that is important too is I've talked about private outlines in the different areas that cruise lines go to, and I mentioned a few. They've been growing over the years because once again, it's just a great place that you can go to on a cruise, and cruise lines have their own private outlines too. And of course, one I absolutely love is Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, which is owned by the family that owns MSC Cruises, MSC Foundation. They're a nonprofit. Plus, they've Explore Journeys. Plus, they've got their Mediterranean shipping company too, which is great. But it's a beautiful place, and they're doing some updates in that too. In fact, with Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, right now they have the ships that go there. About 5 different ships go there as part of their Caribbean itinerary. What they're doing is they're going to be not having ships go there. Going to be shutting it down for about 6-7 weeks. Shutting it down on April 7th and then reopening on May 22nd. But they're doing updates. I'll share about that too because I'm writing about it too, which is great. But it's beautiful. And once again, this is an island that the family owns MSC Cruises, MSC Foundation, Explore Journeys, and their MSC Mediterranean Shipping Group. They negotiated a deal with the Bahama government to actually lease that island for 100 years. They paid him $100 million back in 2016 or 17. And what they did was the island was trashed. They had to tow away about, I think, 7.5 tons of scrap metal, but they had to rebuild it. And they actually invested themselves so far the first time was over $400 million. They had to rebuild the trees, tow away the scrap metal. The trees were dead. The sea life was dead. They had to clean up the beaches. Beautiful place. And they're adding more to it too. I'll be sure about that too, because I'm working on an article about that too. And it's just a great place to go to too. Plus, they're really, really working on one area too is building the coral trees too, which is great too. Something else that came up too is, which you might be aware of, is Carnival Cruise Line. They've got a new island they're working on right now. It will be opening, I think, in 2025. It's called their Celebration Key. And I do want to be sharing more about that later on too. But Celebration Key is really, really great because once again, it's their new island they're doing. It's in the Bahamas. And they just announced some things too, because once again, at Celebration Key, they're going to be going there, I think, in 2025. What they do is they've got 5 different portals. It's actually located in the Grand Bahamas. And with the Celebration Key, it's their new Grand Bahama destination. They've got 5 different portals. And they just mentioned 2 real quick. They've got the Paradise Plaza. They've got their Calypso Lagoon. And the Calypso Lagoon is going to actually provide adult-friendly experiences too. And they just did some announcements about this too, which sounds great. And once again, the Paradise Plaza, which looks great, they showed some pictures. It's brightly colored and sun-shaped art for photo taking too. They got music that will play. And of course, the side of the Center Park, they got a 10-story high sun castle. Starts to build excitement. You know, they've got wayfinding and destination information, which helps passengers choose where they want to go spend their day. Whether it's relaxing in a cabana, maybe playing water sports, joining shore excursions, maybe just taking a walk on the mile-long beach too. They've also got a Bahamian-themed fountain and ice cream shop added to welcome people to their plaza. And who wouldn't like an ice cream shop, right? On the west side of the Paradise Plaza, they've got this adults-friendly Calypso Lagoon. It's designed for seeking a lively social atmosphere. There's a sports court there. And for those who are looking for more of a laid-back experience, they've got a huge freshwater lagoon, loungers, day beds, and cabanas. And they got a bar with nearly 50 swings that lets guests dip their toes in the water as they sip a classic poolside and Bahamian cocktails. They've also got additional bars located around Calypso Lagoon too, which is great. Also, they got full-service restaurants, casual snacks available too. And what I like too is they actually have one portion of the lagoon and the adjacent beaches as an adults only area too. And here, excuse me, there's a large tournament bar, excuse me, with a DJ. They got Bahamian food trucks, day beds, loungers, which is great too. And also they've got, excuse me, Celebration Key also has smart portals being announced right now. One is going to be a family-friendly portal, a private retreat, and a new retail agency area too. And they're going to be releasing more details too. But once again, they're making more announcements, of course. And I'll be sharing more of those too. And once again, with the Celebration Key, it's going to actually, most ships are going to be able to arrive, I think, in July of 2025. Okay. And there'll be their cruise ships, of course. And then I know that more than 500 itineraries will include Celebration Key, with 18 ships are going to call from 10 different U.S. home ports through spring of 2026. So once again, they keep adding more information, which I think is wonderful, but it sounds like a wonderful place to go to. And once again, the ships dock right there. You can walk off, enjoy different things, different experiences. What I like too is they've got, an adults friendly experience, Calypso Lagoon. And of course, they got their Paradise Plaza, and they have actually, as I mentioned, 5 different portals. 2 they've announced. They've got more portals too, which is great too. So once again, different areas too, because once again, I like the idea that they've got different areas for people to visit. Like I said, the adults friendly Calypso Lagoon, which is great. And once again, the adults only area too, which is great because the adults only area has an adjacent beach with there's actually, like I said, a large swim up pool, a swim up bar with a DJ, which is great too, but just different things they're doing too. And I'll be sharing about that too as they do more announcements. But this was just actually announced this week, which is great. Something else that came up too is another Royal Caribbean. They just came up with this too, is Royal Caribbean, which has a couple different private outlines too. They have Perfect Day at Coco Cay, which is gorgeous. Another one they've got is Labadee. I'll share about that later. But also, what they're doing right now is they're planning to do their Royal Beach Club in Cozumel. And what they're doing is this is going to actually be opening up in 2026. They just announced more about that too. And it's going to have beautiful beaches. They've got views, pools for every vibe. Also got swim bars. They've got dedicated pools for relaxation and families. They've got private cabanas, snorkeling, kayaking, of course. They got different dining spots. These include, a restaurant, a bar and lounge with views and a street, as well as hands-on experiences with tequila tastings and cooking classes. Now, how fun would it be to do cooking class? I think that's wonderful. I like to cook. I've done cooking classes on cruise ships before too, but actually doing it on an island, which is great too. And like I said, the future location of the beach club along island's western coast too. And like I said, they've been working with this, and it just sounds gorgeous too. And once again, with Cozumel, if you've ever been there, it's a beautiful destination. And the beach really fits in completely with what the island is doing as far as combining Royal Caribbean touches too, which is great. And like I said, it kind of the Cozumel location actually confirms the Royal Beach Club Paradise Island in the Bahamas, which is going to be opening in 2025. So once again, something new too, and they're going to be revealing more details too. But how fun! Another place to go to on the cruise ship, and once again, you get off, you feel safe, you can explore different things too, because the cruise line is actually handling it right then and there. Beaches, you know where to go, and don't have to worry about missing your shore excursions, so you don't miss the ship too, because the ship's docked right there too. This sounds fantastic. And I didn't realize that Royal Caribbean's Royal Beach Club Paradise Island in the Bahamas is going to be opening up in 2025. Okay. And of course, this one that's going to be launching in Cozumel will be opening up in 2026. And it's kind of expanding what they've been doing right now to open up their new one in the Bahamas this year. And I will be sharing more about that too. Once again, because they just made some updates about this too. And it sounds fantastic, doesn't it? I mean, I love private outline lands too. It's just great places to go and visit and see too. Something else that's really kind of fun too is that I mentioned some things that came up too, just briefly. I know that there's been some issues with Haiti as far as violence, whatever, which is very, very sad. But what Royal Caribbean is doing is they've got their private area called Labadee. I've been there several times. It's gorgeous. It's in one area of Haiti, very, very safe. What they decided, just being very, very careful, is because this situation in Haiti has really been deteriorating. What they do is they've actually been suspending calls to Labadee and actually substituting different ports too. And I'm sure it's going to continue. It's very sad because I've been to Haiti, a beautiful place. I mean, Labadee, which is gorgeous. But once again, they will be very, very safe. So what they're doing is right now they're just kind of transitioning the ships to stop at different places too, to be very, very, safe. Because they mentioned too is their global security and intel team is really monitoring this evolving situation in Haiti. And like I said, they're just being very, very cautious. They're temporarily making adjustments to sailings visiting Labadee, and they're continuing to monitor it too. So I know right now that Adventure of the Seas and Mare of the Seas, Oasis of the Seas, Symphony of the Seas, and Explorer of the Seas, and then Grand of the Seas, they're changing itineraries. So I know that Adventure of the Seas is actually taking a stop in Grand Turk. Mare of the Seas actually visits Nassau. And then Oasis of the Seas just adds another sea day and a call to Falmouth, Jamaica, which is gorgeous. And then Symphony of the Seas is going to be adding a sea day, of course, too. And then they're revising their ships. Falmouth revised to 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is great, too. Falmouth is a beautiful, beautiful place to go to, too. I actually knew the person actually created that for the cruise industry, a great person. He designed them in there, myself too. But once again, with Labadee, it's located on the peninsula of the northern Haiti. But once again, they're just doing very, very secure things too. Plus, once again, too, is I know that they're on their island, Perfect Day Coco Cay in the Bahamas. So someone's just going there too instead of Labadee.
Yeah, they're definitely being safe and trying to make sure that you don't get caught up in that horrible situation that's going on there and everything. But I know that one of the things you talk about quite a bit on the show is the MSC Foundation and the great work that they've been doing. And I found this 3-minute video that actually gives us a highlight of some of the things that they have been doing. So I thought that this would be a great thing to share with the audience. And let's check this out. This is from 2023, but we're in the early part of 2024. But this is them highlighting some of the things that they accomplished last year. So I thought this would be a good thing to bring up and to check out, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Let's check this out. things they're doing.
I am currently writing about what they're doing as far as Ocean Key Embassy Reserve right now. Got articles, pictures. It's amazing what they're doing too, and just some other areas that they're going to be utilizing that island too. And once again, amazing. I'll be writing an article about it too, and I'll share more about that later on. I've been doing a lot of research, but I love what they're doing. I mean, I have such admiration for the Aponte family because it's family owned. You know, they have the embassy container shipping company, had it for years. These are MSC Cruises. They got their foundation, which is great. Plus, they've got their new Explorer Dirties, which they launched last year. The Explorer 1 came out last year. Very luxury, about 200 guests at the most, high-end luxury. Bringing ocean life to sea. And they've also got the Explorer 2 coming out this year. But people need to know what we really need to do as far as the ocean. You know, and rebuilding the coral trees, whatever, to really save the ocean life, because it's part of what we need more than ever. And they're really stepping forward in new ways. And it's just phenomenal. I greatly admire them. You know, I can tell.
Yeah, they definitely have to be admired and doing some great things and all along those lines. So when I saw that and said, hey, this is a company doing some amazing things, and we oftentimes hear about companies not being kind of conscious of their environment and everything else, but it looks like they are very conscious of what they are doing, and it definitely is great to see that particular cruise ship, as well as others that are getting involved in some very positive initiatives, for lack of a better word, and everything. So it's just really good to be able to share that with the listeners, and I know you're bringing all this amazing news coming from the cruise industry. I know you get to go to some of these conferences and everything along those lines. So it's always good that we're able to see all these amazing things on Good Ship Happens. And before I depart and let you close out the rest of the show, because I know you've got a 7 o'clock appointment, I did have this other one that I saw. It was from, I believe it's an Indian company, but it's Costa Fascinaso and everything. And they had a very upbeat commercial, and I mean, definitely got kind of a rockish beat about their particular cruise ship. So as you were talking, I was finding out a little bit about them, and maybe we can share this as well, since it's a little bit of an upbeat one, and we can check out what their cruise ship is all about. I did see when I saw it, it was a little bit, I think, based in India, but let's check this out and see what they're all about. But definitely had some upbeat music, if nothing else, and then I'll turn it back over to you. But if it's okay with you, I'll let you check this one out.
Okay.
Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Keep it on repeat. Tested by the potion, loving this devotion. Live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly, just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlight.
for several years, and also they actually were acquired by the Carnival Corporation.
Yeah.
Carnival Corporation owns different cruise lines now over the years. The Cost is their Italian-focused cruise line.
Okay.
And of course, they own Princess Cruises, Holland America Line, they own Carnival, but they have about six or seven different cruise lines under the Carnival Corporation brand too. But like I said, with the Costa Cruises, they've been around for a long time and just more of a Italian focused.
Yep. Sounds like it was Italian, but I wasn't sure whether it was Italian or Indian, but definitely looked
No,
Italian.
Yes, Italian. Yes.
Cool.
I've been on the ship before, but yeah, really nice, too. Because once again, we hear about new ships. I think they got one coming out later. I'm not sure. I can check on that too. But once again, Costa Cruises was purchased by the Carnival Corporation. Carnival Corporation started purchasing other cruise lines too. But they still have their own separate brand identities too, which is great too. So yes.
Cool. Well, I'll let you go back and do the rest of the stuff, and maybe we'll close out with the initiative from the ladies, or maybe we'll go out with, or we can go out with the long one with Kate McHugh, but that's 5 minutes. I think we'll go out with the short one with Sylvia Earle and everything.
Yes.
That would be a better one.
Yes. Great.
But right now, Janelle talking, we'll go out with Sylvia when you're ready.
Okay. As far as new ships coming out too, we've got the Queen Anne, which is going to be debuting, I think, in March or April this year. That is Cunard Line's new ship, and it's going to be they're adding more things, more information about that too. I'm going to be writing about that too in the future. But once again, it's their first new ship they've launched in I think about 10 years, and they call them their Queen ships, the Queen Anne, of course, and it's larger than their previous two Cunard Line ships too. I know she's going to have be 1,065 feet long versus the Queen Elizabeth and Queen Victoria, which are 965 feet in length. Also, as far as the guests, the Queen Anne will accommodate about 2,996 guests. And of course, too, they're offering more contemporary spirits as far as Cunard Line. And they've got a top deck wellness studio. They've got different restaurants. Share more about that too in a future episode. They've got Japanese Italian steak seafood house, plus a really entertainment venue called Bright Light Society. Of course, something I like too is I know that Utopia Sea is coming out too. That is Royal Caribbean's newest ship coming out. It's not as big as, of course, Icon of the Seas. But like I said, we've got some really beautiful ships coming up this year too, which is great too. And also one thing we talked about is sustainability. And cruise lines are really switching over to having their ships being operated by liquefied natural gas, LNG. And I know that I talked about Sun Princess. She is operated by LNG, Utopia of the Seas, and Silver Ray, which is actually Silver Sea Cruises' newest ship coming out this year too. Silver Sea Cruises is a luxury cruise line. Also, we had Disney Treasure, Disney Cruise Line's new ship coming out this year, I think in the fall. And like I said, they've got another one, but she's going to be operated by liquefied natural gas too, which is great too. And once again, Sun Princess just came out. I share more about that too. It looks fantastic, And of course, we've got, I know Viking has their Love It show coming out in the Viking Villa. Okay. And of course, I mentioned Explorer Journeys is owned by the family that owns Mediterranean Shipping Company. And also got MSC Cruises, their MSC Foundation nonprofit. And they've got Explorer Journeys, which just launched officially last year with the Explorer 1. And the Explorer 2 is coming out this year. And it's a twin of the Explorer 1, which came out in 2023. And it's has 3 outdoor pools. It's got a 4th with a retractable glass roof, 64 cabanas, 9 restaurants, a spa, indoor-outdoor spa, plus facilities. I know with the Explorer ships, they're smaller, accommodate less guests, which is great too. And their whole mindset is bringing the ocean life to sea too. But the Disney Treasure, that's a sister ship of the Disney Wish. and it's going to be coming out, of course, this year. And they've got some fun things too that has some new things that kind of are cued by the Disney parks. For instance, they've got their Haunted Mansion Parlor, which is a bar, yes, and their Walt Disney Theater, which accommodates 1,274 guests. It's going to have a new original Broadway style production called The Tale of Moana. Love it. They've got their Plaza de Coco, which is a new family themed restaurant, which is a take on their Pixar film Coco. Okay. And something else came up too is I know that with Virgin Voyages, they've got their Brilliant Lady coming out. She's delayed, she's supposed to be coming out too, which is great too. So that's really good too, because once again, we need to share these kinds of things more than ever. Okay. And something else too, I talked about Disney Cruise Line, but what they did was they did mention that besides their Disney Treasure, they just did an announcement that what they do is the cruise lines work with different shipbuilding companies. Meyer Wharf is one, and what they did was Meyer Wharf just laid the keel for the 2025's Disney Destiny, and their design theme is called Heroes and Villains. Okay, but how fun! And this ship is a sister ship to this year's Disney Treasure, also a sister ship to the Disney Wish, which came out in 2022. And with their Disney Destiny, it's their heroes and villains concept theme really incorporates Disney stories, characters and themes, and park attractions. And aboard the Disney Destiny, passengers can really encounter characters from the animated Disney studio stories like The Lion King, Hercules, and 101 Dalmatians. Okay, how fun is that too? Also, they've got a new filigree artwork, the Disney Destiny's boat area too, which is great too. That's really fun too. So yes, we need it more than ever. And they've got an illustration that really, really, really strikes a valiant, I think, pose to a heroic ensemble with their cape waving in the breeze. Okay. And once again, as extend their fleet, which is great, the Destiny really further strengthens their position as a leader in family cruising, because they offer even more ways for families to experience the Disney magic and world-class service at sea too. Plus, which is great too, is besides the Disney Treasure coming out later this year, the Disney Adventure is scheduled to debut in Singapore in 2025. And also, before this summer, they've got their new Disney Lookout Quay at Lighthouse Point. It's located in Eurythia, and they'll be expecting to take calls there too. So that was kind of fun to share that too, because that just came up. And it's really, like I said, I got a chance to sail on Disney the first year they started, and I'll tell you what, it was a great experience, to have myself too. Plus, got a chance to do their private island, which is great too. And they dock right there, which is great. Plus, they had areas for the children, adults only areas too, which is great too. And the dining was just phenomenal, because what happened was we wound up going from different dining room to different dining room every night with a different theme, but our wait staff went with us, which is, I think, just phenomenal, because once again, you don't think about that too, but different things with different dining experiences. I mean, it was really kind of nice to explore different dining themes, cuisines too, depending on where we went to, but we switched different restaurants each night. But once again, we share the same table with our other people at our table, plus we had the same wait staff, which I thought was fantastic. Because once again, when you go on a cruise, it's good to meet new people and keep in touch with them in different ways too. And dining with people, you get to know people at the table, which I think is fun. And just another thing I think to really think about too, because once again, it's just another great way to really think about what cruise lines are offering too. Besides, once again, I like to share more about sustainability. And as mentioned, with the Cruise Lines International Association, right now they got plans in place for every cruise line to be net zero carbon emissions by 2050. But once again, cruise lines are really jumping into this even faster than ever. Most of their new ships are liquefied natural gas, which is great. another way the cruise lines are really, really working hard to make sure that they're doing special things. I think that's just a wonderful thing to really share about the cruise industry, because once again, we need to share that more than ever too. Because once again, it's just what they're doing is just phenomenal. I mean, I just think we need to show them more than ever. And once again, find ways to really, 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 I think, work together on it too. Because that is so important too. And then something else that came up too is I know that ship that just came out earlier last month was actually the Carnival Jubilee. And they did a special christening ceremony, and the godmother they chose for the Carnival Jubilee was actually Gwen Stefani. Yes, she was a godmother. I'm currently writing about that too. I wasn't there, but once again, I got a chance to watch the christening ceremony online through Carnival, which is great. But once again, it's it's just great what they're doing too, because once again, it's home ported in Galveston, Texas. Yes. What's good too is they're basing that ship sailing out of Galveston, Texas year round. It's doing Western Caribbean itineraries, which is great. And just another option to think about too, what they did too before the Carnival Jubilee arrived there. I know that with the Galveston, they invested a lot of money to really improve that one port area where the Carnival Jubilee is sailing from too. So she's sailing right now, but was just recently christened with the Gwen Stefani performed a concert afterwards too for the guests on board too. And once again, we talk about enhancements, what cruise lines are doing as far as I know Wi-Fi too, and I know that with the Carnival Jubilee, they just launched in December. It's a 5 gigabyte enabled service. It's available to guests to use too, as far as connecting through service plans with the cruise ships they have too, which is great. And once again, I know in the the Carnival Jubilee, they've got some new shopping opportunities too. I know they've got different things you can actually purchase too if you want to, which is great. Because shopping is kind of fun on cruise ships too, And once again, with the Carnival Jubilee, they've got some new menus and wine selections too. They launched a new option for their popular chef's table, which is great. It's a VIP experience, which is a really fantastic multi-course dinner hosted by the executive chef on board. And it offers new selections as far as food, cuisine too, which is great. And once again, I know they've got a new hub app feature too. And once again, instead of picking zone tags for their luggage, they can actually coordinate a debarkation time with the app too, which is great too. Once again, it really is kind of fun to, I think about what cruise lines are doing as far as having their own special apps. It makes it much easier too, which is great too. So once again, think about things to do too as far as opportunities sailing on cruise ships, what you want to experience. We've got new ships coming out like crazy. Plus, once again, they're enhancing their private islands, which is great too. And we got a lot of new ships coming out this year too, which is great. And one I'm kind of curious about too is that Polar one. They'll be doing a press conference at the Sea Trade Cruise Global Conference I'm going to in a couple of weeks. But once again, I'll share more about that later on when I get back. But once again, it's good to kind of share different things that the cruise industry is doing so well as far as sustainability, building new ships. And the thing is, I think we're seeing a fun little area too, because once again, the ships have been coming out now too, are not necessarily as big as maybe Icon. Okay. A great example is the Riverside Luxury Cruises, and I'll share more about that in another episode because they just christened their new ship at the American Society of Travel Advisors conference, which is held over in Europe about a week and a half ago, which is great too. But once again, I will share more about that later on too in my future episodes of Good Ship Happens. So, Mark, if you want to share that next video, that'd be a good way to close out my show. Let me know. That'd be great.
I'm Dr. Sylvia Earle, a marine biologist, oceanographer, explorer, and I'm passionate about the protection of this blue planet. I grew up next to the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico, and I've witnessed how much the ocean has changed and how marine life has been endangered. But I know there is still time to help the ocean, which is why I was drawn to the Aponte family's sustainability mission. Explorer Journeys has a genuine ambition to connect people with the wonders of the sea, its marine life, its communities, spiritually, physically, and intellectually. We share the same values and have the same objectives to deepen people's relationship with the ocean, to explore, protect, and restore. Explorer Journeys calls it the ocean state of mind, a sensibility that will ensure the protection of this precious blue planet. Through my foundation, Mission Blue, we're working on ocean conservation, inspiring hope with champions across the world. Beginning with my extraordinary role as godmother to Explorer One, we will be heralding a meaningful collaboration between myself, Mission Blue, and Explorer Journeys and the MSC Foundation towards preserving and restoring the world's oceans, the blue heart of the planet.